Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Unknown Comics podcast. This is episode 51.
51.
I'm Tanner.
Chris, only have one left till it's officially 52 weeks
Yeah.
of podcast. Even though it's been more than a year.
Yeah.
But
We missed a week here or there.
Yeah. It doesn't feel like we've missed that many. But
Not many.
How it happened.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
still more podcasts than I've ever done.
You know, our audio only platforms have been really taking off here within the past month or so.
Which is pretty cool.
Yeah. Super excited about that.
You said Audible was getting that many downloads or just our podcast?
No, just our listening podcasts. Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
I think iTunes is our number one,
Okay.
followed by Spotify and then Amazon.
Cool.
All over the world.
I like it.
We got tons of listeners, and I'm not going to shout out countries because I don't remember, but we got listeners in Europe, we got listeners in Asia, Africa, South America,
That's pretty awesome.
all over the
I
place.
think a lot of it's just consistency. And then, of course, you guys. Thanks for listening to us talk.
We
'Cause,
appreciate all of you.
I mean, even our wives don't do that, so
Mine might actually be watching.
we appreciate it. Well, hearing you and listening to you are two different things. So,
Oh, yeah.
not a whole lot still. Holidays still happening.
Yeah.
Of course, Happy New Year to everybody. We're not going to be able to see you or
This
talk
is
to
the
you
last
till
show
next
of
year.
2021.
Yeah. So it's over. Thankfully.
You better knock on wood.
So pretty excited about that. Not still, nobody's announcing anything yet. Spider-Man's been out for more than a week, and it's already blown away records.
We're thinking about going to see it again tomorrow night.
Yeah, that's not a bad idea. I mean, it's already in the $1 billion mark. It's already surpassed all the Batman movies. It just keeps going up on the chain. I don't know if it'll hit Endgame.
That is so awesome, like passing pre-pandemic movies.
Yeah, it's doing great. So I'm excited to see that.
So that is something we could talk a little bit. I don't know if you and Brandon might have talked about this last week, but I've seen all kinds of hints towards Marvel's wanting Garfield and Maguire for Secret Wars. I've seen rumors that
I mean, if they're coming back for this, why wouldn't they come back
right.
for more? Right.
I've seen rumors of
if they're willing to
more
do it,
solo Garfield movies.
Yeah.
So
that I think for sure I could see Garfield being the
Sony Spider-Man.
For sure, absolutely, because they wanted to keep moving forward with him before Marvel said, "Hold on, we want a retcon." Mm-hmm. So I could totally see that happening, and then I can just see Maguire kind of bouncing back.
I could too. It's like an old man Spidey kind of pops in when he needs to show some guidance or something.
Or even figure out a way to put a Disney Plus show together with Maguire. Something more just kind of laid back. I don't know. Apparently he's lived the life. He's with MJ. They've got it all figured out.
There was that.
Maybe they do have a kid or something.
Well, there was that one kid. I think was it Jessica May Parker?
Okay,
I think that was her name.
They did that kind of mini series a couple years back. So what you're saying?
Yeah, it was in the future,
they were all
and
Spider family,
and that was their daughter, and she inherited the powers.
Yeah.
So that's where one of the Spider Girl character came from. I mean, that would be cool to see.
Yeah, see, kind of maybe figure out a way to make her a young Avenger.
Yeah,
I don't know. Something.
Well, so
or just leave him on his own.
There's enough Spider characters that Sony could build out the same way Marvel built out the Avengers.
Yeah, I still think it's interesting though that of course Morbius is this January, so we're almost to the next Spider-Man film. It's really going to push, I think, the Sony universe, right?
Right.
But we're still. We have a little bit more clarity now because there is a multiverse.
Right.
So you kind of understand why Maguire is in that background photo, but is he really?
Right. Because he also mentions Venom, and
he says,
Venom made no
Venom.
widespread appearance in the MCU.
No.
He was technically in there, but he did not.
He was just there
do
to drop
anything.
off a symbiote.
He went to the bar.
He was there to drop off a symbiote. Yeah. So, I'm curious to see where all that's going to go. Hopefully we get some more answers with the Sonyverse and Morbius this month, or next month. So,
I would go see every single one they put out. I fell into a trailer trap earlier today.
You just kind of kept going.
Well, no, it was one of those that the first couple scenes look super legit, and then you slowly realize, these clips came from other movies.
Yeah.
It was for a Miles Morales trailer.
Oh yeah.
And someone that had digitally put in,
just kind of cloned it over.
cloned over it was mostly Amazing Spider-Man footage, and they cloned over Andrew Garfield with
some Miles
some
suits.
with a Miles.
I think we'll see it eventually. I'm not sure when. The fact that they talk about Jamie Foxx talking about, hoping that Andrew
Yeah, they
Garfield
totally
is a
nodded
black
to
kid.
him. Yeah.
Yeah. So I think we'll see it pretty soon. I'm just not sure when. I mean, that could even be Sony's main Spider-Man character. They could go forward with Miles Morales. But we've also seen him mentioned in a way in the MCU already by having Prowler, Miles' uncle in the TV.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
I mean, I would just have to kind of see where they go with it. I'm pretty excited about it. And then you didn't get to talk about Hawkeye. Did you finish Hawkeye?
I did. I loved it.
Yeah.
It is my favorite
Yeah.
Disney Plus series.
So what do you feel about the ending though, with Echo and Kingpin?
I don't think he's dead.
Yeah, absolutely not.
He did exhibit more power,
And he said
than I thought. Like,
he said that he is the same person, but a lot stronger. Like he would have been in what you see in the comic books, right?
yeah, which, to my knowledge, he doesn't have any actual powers in the comics. He just
He is freaky strong, but it's not like a superpower.
he's just a dude.
Yeah.
That can tango with superheroes.
Yeah, I don't think he's like. I don't know if there's been anything ever that given to him like superpower strength.
Not that I've seen.
But he is freakishly stronger than other people. Maybe not like Spider-Man or Hulk strong, but I guess stronger.
Yeah.
Maybe 2 or 3 times stronger rather than 10 or 15 times.
Right.
So
No, I thought it was good. Which I think we're already assuming we're going to see Echo in the upcoming Daredevil stuff. Maybe.
well, she has her own series coming.
Oh, her own series. Okay.
I think we'll see probably Daredevil in her series.
Okay.
I think somebody like Daredevil or somebody flipped in and stopped the gun from killing him. Or he did get
Possibly.
shot and he's just going to have to deal with whatever happened in that part. So
Yeah.
But of course, them not showing him fall on the ground dead or something like that definitely makes you think he's not dead.
No, I loved it. It's like the Die Hard of superhero stuff now.
Yeah.
I'm going to watch that every Christmas.
And they will always say, yes, it is a Christmas movie. They won't deny it like Die Hard. Yeah, so it was pretty good. I liked it a lot. I was kind of hoping, since Spider-Man and all that kind of stuff were so intertwined, that we would see some kind of connection there. At
I
the
was
end.
too, but
But ultimately, I was fine with the way it turned out.
yeah, and at the same time, I'm glad they didn't do it that way.
Yeah.
Because Agents of Shield totally spoiled Winter Soldier if you didn't watch it in the correct order.
Yeah.
And
Well, why didn't you watch it in the correct order?
I didn't watch Agents of Shield at all. I hated that show.
Well, then you didn't have anything to worry about.
No, but I don't. I like how they make things intertwine, but I don't want it to intertwine so much with the TV shows since it's on a serial basis that it spoils the movies, or vice versa. So
I think if they would have had anything, I mean, in a way, it already kind of did spoil Spider-Man because as soon as you saw Kingpin, you knew for sure, even though we kind of already all knew, that Charlie Cox was gonna show up in Spider-Man.
yeah, but that's not a story spoiler so much as it is a. We were just speculating which actors are gonna cross over.
Have you seen the little gif of Charlie Cox like sitting there on his chair drinking a little drink, and then he puts his cowl on, like, yeah, I'm back.
That's funny. No, I loved it. What did you think the post credit scene?
I hated that.
I thought it was super lame.
I just was hoping, I was like, please be more than this. Like, show something to the audience. I understand they gave him the whole performance, the whole song.
Well, it's not that. If you noticed in the first time they watched it, in the first episode, there were 6 Avengers. The post credit scene, there were 7 Avengers.
Who was the 7th one?
Ant-Man.
Ant-Man was in the first one.
No, he wasn't.
He was, because Hawkeye pointed out that he shouldn't have been there.
Okay, I'll have to go rewatch it because
his daughter's like, hey, did you turn your hearing aid off? He's like, yeah. He's like, it's fine, but because I was there. Remember, I know what happened.
Yeah.
Do you know who wasn't there? That guy, and he points at Ant-Man.
But so I'm either thinking it's a nod to Endgame because he was there.
Yeah.
Just he wasn't there fighting
He was
the aliens
there for the New York battle.
Yeah, or something's going to happen in Quantum Mania.
Maybe.
And he might show up there again.
That would be interesting. Or maybe he was there, and we didn't know. Even though he didn't have powers at that point. Yeah, but they'll figure it out. So yeah, it was pretty good. And then of course that brings us to this week. Yesterday,
Thursday, yeah.
We had the first episode of Book of Boba Fett.
I loved it.
I think my expectations were like way too high. And I usually don't do that.
Okay.
But I was like, actually pretty disappointed.
I could see how that could happen.
I think it's just going off that first episode of Mando. You know, it ended. And
Well,
I was like, oh my gosh! And I
you
wanted
know,
the same thing from
and
Book of Boba.
my expectations were not super high. Not because I wasn't expecting it to be good, but because all of my focus has been on Spider-Man and Hawkeye.
Yeah.
Like those are my guys.
Yeah.
So I hadn't paid any attention to articles, marketing, trailer.
And there hasn't been anything.
Yeah.
And so I guess that maybe was like why, when it was just kind of this background story to what's happening to him. I mean, they didn't even show him taking over yet.
No.
You know what I mean? And that's kind of how they teed all this up, is him coming in and taking over as the new crime lord. And I'm like, well, like I actually started this. I actually started the episode over again because I was like, did I miss that?
It sounded like he didn't take over. Like maybe by the time he got back from the Raiders, that Bib Fortuna was already dead or something.
Well, yeah, this is post Mando season 2 because he's got his full armor and everything back.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, this is post Mando season 2, and then he's having flashbacks to everything that happened to him before he met up with the Mando.
Because my interpretation was that this was pre-Mando and that he had his armor, but something was going to happen to lose the armor.
No, he didn't meet Finnick until after post Mando.
Okay.
Because he saves her life and puts her all back together.
Okay.
You know what I mean? And
yeah.
then his armor's all restored and all that kind of stuff back to the way it should be. So this is all post Mando season 2.
Okay.
Except for the flashbacks.
Right.
You know, it's kind of bringing you that storyline, you know, and I think it's interesting. I did like it. I just thought I was kind of confused, I guess. It's just kind of where it was coming from, what it was doing.
I was kind of talking with Amanda about this because she's a big Star Wars fan also. We watched it together.
Yeah.
She's not a huge fan of the shows because they're kind of slow.
Yeah, because they're that more slow.
They're space westerns is what they are.
Yeah. Which is what Star Wars has always been.
Yeah, and I mean, I enjoy it. I like the kind of the slower build up to a really intense ending.
It's an odyssey, you know.
Yeah,
and it's not going to be as action packed like a action movie is.
Right. Well, yeah. I mean, I'm sure if they made it a movie, it would be, but they have more time to kind of flesh everything out.
Now, I still liked it. It's cool to see more of the Sand People.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's pretty cool. It's interesting to see, you know, just another Rhodian actually doing things. I mean, I liked all those things. It just wasn't. I don't know. I guess I thought it was going to be him going in there and kicking butt and take names, and you know, I still don't. He did that.
No,
I mean, you still saw him kill that big monster.
Yeah,
you know? I mean,
he did stuff, but you know, he's never, as much as people get behind him as just being this really badass kind of guy. Mm-hmm. On screen, he's never really done anything.
Yeah, on screen. Now in the comics and books, he's done tons of stuff, which is why everybody thinks he's, you know, they immortalizes him in a way.
Right, but on screen, he's just kind of like the cool guy. It's like the scene in Lord of the Rings. He's Aragorn sitting in the back of the tavern, watching everybody.
Just waiting.
Yeah, he's just there.
He's got his reputation, but he doesn't need to use it.
I like his approach to being the new crime lord, though. Is very much more like old school Godfather.
Well, I think he shows you in his when he's in the bathtub tank that he's having those flashbacks to his father, and I think he's like, gee, maybe he's trying to turn a new leaf. Like, my life doesn't have to be about this and that. Plus, also the relationship he just came out of with the Mandalorian, and it's him and the kid. And
and
I think he's got a different way of thinking about things now.
Because, you know, definitely before Mando, he was a bounty hunter.
Yep.
He didn't really have a moral code or anything like that.
No.
But Mandalorians do have a very strict moral code.
Yeah.
And I think even though I think they've retconned it to where Jango's not technically a Mandalorian, I don't know exactly.
They did. I think they retconned it, say he was officially one in the Mandalorian season.
I don't know which way they went.
They start talking about his heritage.
Yeah.
When he said he wants the armor back, and he starts telling him all of his heritage to Jango.
Yeah.
So I think that he for sure is.
Yeah, and Jango.
Just don't know which part of the Mandalorian he came from.
Jango very much followed the code.
Yeah.
Jango was a foundling. Okay, yeah.
Yep.
So not by birth, but he still followed the code.
Yeah.
And a lot of the other leaders that trained the clones were the same way.
Yeah.
Val Scarada was another Mando trainer, and he trained all the commandos.
Okay. Special ops.
Yeah,
I like it. Like I said, it was good. I like the fact that they're taking him through the Bacta tank, so he doesn't have to worry about the scars and stuff anymore. He's healing all that up. I like Ming-Na Wen's character, Finnick. I love that her mask.
her helmet's cool.
Yeah. I also like the fact that at the end of the little helmet credit scene, at the beginning of it, they actually showed hers and his right back to back. I was like, that's pretty cool.
I do like how they changed that opening scene depending on which era it's in. I think that's cool.
Yeah, it's pretty unique. I'm excited to see where it's going to keep going. I'm going to trust them, kind of like WandaVision, right? Ultimately, ended up being an amazing all the way turnout for me. So. Maybe it's one of those things like once it's all over, I'll just watch it.
And
big thing.
I think they're planning I think this one's planned to have more of a longevity to the series.
Yeah.
Because Mando was actually only supposed to be a season 1, and then it was really liked, so it got season 2.
And as far as I know, there's still talk of season 3 not being called The Mandalorian.
Okay, so
yeah, and I could see that too.
Yeah.
So B Nasty says he thinks that the time with the Tuskens is going to be kind of what changes.
Kind of like the
Boba Fett.
Kind of like the Last Samurai when Tom Cruise spends the winter with the samurai.
Yeah, it kind of gives him a newfound respect for people in the world and what's kind of going on. I also think that watching all of that, at some point he's going to need an army, or he's going to need something, and the Sand People are going to come and help him out. And
maybe they take down Bib Fortuna.
That's really what's going to freak people out. So,
which I don't see Bib Fortuna as being a very formidable crime boss.
No, like I said, the little bit of stuff they kind of show you him taking over stuff kind of shows you him just kind of going in there and just taking him out. So I'm just kind of curious where that. I mean, I guess we'll probably get that maybe in the next episode, or pretty recent. So
there were a lot of Twi'leks in the episode, and I was like, okay, they do realize that they're not from Tatooine, right?
Yeah, but as far as being in the slave world, they were a very big part of that, and so with a lot of those different bosses out of there, probably a lot of them are still on Tatooine though.
Yeah.
So, I mean, the Twi'lek's entire homeworld was taken away from, right? Ryloth. So.
Yeah, it was. I mean, it was under Separatist rule.
Yeah.
Then the Republic came for a brief period, and then it was quickly the Empire.
Yeah. So. Poor Ryloth. Poor Twi'leks. Yeah, I'm also curious to see who hired those guys as well. If it was the Twi'lek that he was just in that bar with, or if it's somebody else.
Yeah.
It was a good episode, though. Ultimately, I think it's going to be good long run. I'm curious to see who's all going to show up in it.
I wouldn't mind seeing, more new.
There's rumors that Darth Maul's supposed to show up.
Yeah, I think I've seen that, but
I just don't know how.
Yeah, because
got to think about timeline on that. I guess maybe he's not dead yet, but I think he is.
See, I thought he died in Rebels.
Yeah, I thought Ahsoka Well, it was that last new episode with the Bad Batch got brought into, right? But I can't remember if he was killed or if they captured him. But I thought he died.
Yeah.
I think he was dropped into an explosion. But he's been dropped before and still lived, so he could be alive. Who knows?
I know there's rumors of him being in Obi-Wan also.
Well, that makes more sense.
Right.
Since his entire passion was to hunt down Obi-Wan.
Well, so it could make sense for him to be in...
No, it could be flashbacks or something.
Well, he could be another... He's part of Crimson Sun now, isn't he?
He's leading it.
So he could show up because they're another big crime organization.
Yeah, he is Crimson. So he took over the whole thing.
Yeah.
So they kind of showed you that a little bit at the end of Rogue One. Kind of teased that a little bit. But there's a lot of time between that and then. It's kind of weird, the cartoons sometimes, because they cover so much time that you don't realize where they
Well, that
where they are and where they're not inside the movies and the books.
That's probably my biggest complaint with Star Wars is the time span of the lores. It got really skewed when the prequels were introduced.
Yeah.
Because you see the actors in the original series, particularly Ewan McGinnis, and whoever, I don't remember who plays Vader in the suit, but they are both they're older guys,
Yeah.
they're older guys
From the original trilogy.
From the original trilogy.
Yeah.
However, if you follow the timeline, Vader's in his 40s.
Yeah. Yeah, he's not that old.
He's not that old. Obi-Wan shouldn't be much older, you know.
Yeah,
because
he's going to be he's 10 years older maybe.
Maybe.
Yeah.
I mean, there's it's enough of an age gap for them to have a brother relationship, but not enough of one for it to be
Obi
like a
was
father.
probably 17 or 18 when he became all the way there.
Yeah.
And then Anakin was probably 9 or 10.
He was 9 in the first movie.
Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, there's not much of an age gap there at all.
Yeah. So, and then they're trying to squeeze all this stuff that happened. You got to remember that the true Empire, was only around for a very blink of an eye.
But the big thing about a lot of that stuff is, when Lucas was doing all this stuff, he had no idea where it was going to go.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, he had a vision for it, but he didn't have the vision for
right
where everything's going to be. So, I mean, I think the one thing that's cool is it does kind of get confusing sometimes on the timeline, but at the same time, it's really cool that it is all connected.
Right. I like that it is all connected, but it just introduced little plot holes, in A New Hope when...
It's little things you're just going to have to move past that.
Well, Han Solo believes the Jedi to be a myth when he should have been alive during the Clone Wars.
Yeah.
And there would have been hundreds and hundreds of Jedi.
Well, now it does explain that to some point. When the Empire took over and he as the Emperor came in, his propaganda, which is the thing he is the best at, he made sure that they were basically deleted from history so that people didn't believe that they existed. So if you did hear a story about it, it was just a story.
I know that can happen, but not in that short of a time span, because the time span has to be long enough for those older people to die out, the people that were actually there.
And I think that there were still rumors and stories about it, but I think that they probably were so hardcore about it, but if you told stories, I mean, they were probably some pretty severe repercussions.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I do know that he thought it was going to flop.
I think him and Spielberg were on vacation somewhere in Hawaii or something like that when it was premiering.
Well, and they had a bet as to whose movie was going to do better.
Yeah, it was him and Indiana Jones, right?
No, it was between Star Wars and Spielberg's Close Encounters.
Oh yeah, Close Encounters. Yeah.
And whichever movie was successful, that director was going to give the other director 1% of the profits forever. So Spielberg gets 1% of Star Wars forever.
Yeah.
And 1% of Star Wars is a lot of money.
Yes. Well, they've always give each other credit in all their movies and all that kind of stuff too. So which is really cool. So,
R2 and C-3PO and some of the hieroglyphs. And,
there's always some little tag here and there, which is pretty cool. I like that.
Yeah. I don't got anything else.
Yeah, that's it.
Happy New Year.
Yeah, talked a lot longer than I thought we would.
Yeah. We will be back tomorrow morning if you guys are watching live for our end of the year live sale.
If you're local to Amarillo, January 22nd, we're going to have Lou Ferrigno here in store.
Oh, yeah, I forgot it.
So make sure you stop in. The original Incredible Hulk will be here in Amarillo, Texas. We are going to be doing a pre-show for signing. We'll have a lot of our Hulk exclusives and stuff like that up. So if you're not local to Amarillo and you want to get something signed, we will be putting some options up on the website pretty soon.
And we are also on Whatnot. So we're going to be doing our first Whatnot show next week.
Yep.
Go ahead and download the app. Go find us, follow us, and all that jazz.
Look for Unknown Comics Live.
We're going to be starting to do live sales there as well.
We'll be doing TCG live sales and comic book live sales on Whatnot. So make sure you download the app. It's an app only. it should be a lot of fun. There's a lot of people already on there, a lot of creators and stuff like that. We kind of got the go ahead from the Whatnot team to kind of get pushed ahead and become a seller. So we're really excited about it. So it should be pretty cool.
Yeah, so be sure to check that out. Thanks everybody for watching, and we'll see you next time.
Later. See you next year.